Hello, welcome to another edition of the Central Bucks Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chat. I'm Vale Garvin, President and CEO of the Chamber, and we have a wonderful individual with us today, Tom Brunt from TED Web Innovations. Tom, welcome. It is so good to be sitting here in your studio.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us talk to you.
Thank you for talking to me. It's interesting being on the other side of the camera. I'm always like, doing your show, sitting over there, and now I'm in the hot seat.
Well, I wanted everybody to get to know you, to know your skills and your capabilities, but mostly something everyone knows is your heart. And you mean so much to the community because you have given so much to the community. You helped the Doylestown Historical Society. You helped the Mercer Museum. You've helped the Chamber. You videoed all these Chamber chats. And you do it out of the kindness of your heart, Tom. And honestly, thank you. Please let everyone know. Thank you to Tom for this. Tom, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your background.
Well, I've lived in Doylestown almost my whole life, pretty much, as a kid. So
This is
started.
home.
This is home. This is definitely
Okay.
home.
Okay.
So I started getting involved in video kind of an off chance way. I just happened to hear that the local cable company, which was Homeview Cable at the time.
Ah, the precursor to
To suburban cable, yes.
Jerry Len.
Jerry Lenfest, yes. So they were looking for high school volunteers to work on televising sports, and I thought I already was kind of getting involved in electronics, and I thought, let me see if I had no idea that I would have skill for that. But then, as I
Were
kind
you
of like
at
to say,
West at the time?
I was at West,
Okay.
yes, and then as I like to say, the bug bit me, and they couldn't get rid of me. So I ended up working there for the first part of my career. Once I graduated high school and college, they offered me full time, and I worked for like 10 years,
Wow.
doing a lot of community-oriented programming, and which is sort of what I
Yeah.
guess kind of makes me want to still do it and be involved in doing it, because I was kind of weaned on it in doing my early part of television.
Love, the act of love for your community and the people in it. Wow, that's really impressive. And you majored in video or graphic design?
Video
Video.
production.
And the one thing I know that I really admire and respect is you've done incredible work with the National Football League, the U.S. Tennis Tournament. Why don't you tell our audience a little about that?
Well, after suburban cable, I moved on to mobile broadcasting.
Okay.
I worked with the big tractor trailers that hold all the production equipment, like the cameras and the control rooms,
Kind you see on TV?
the kind you see on TV, and actually that make the TV. So I worked with a company that basically supplied all that. So I was like a technical person, helping to set up large shows. I ended up doing Super Bowls, World Series.
You make it
And
sound so easy.
It's
Got to have been really tough.
but it's like any job you have with a skill set. You end up, it's what you do.
Yeah.
So we all end up, knowing how to do it, and there's a lot of adventure in doing that. I did it for 2 decades, about 2 decades.
Wow.
I was on the road, but you do get on the road a lot. You're away a lot. I've worked every holiday. Actually, my best time though was in 2018. I went to South Korea for the Olympics.
That's interesting. You were there.
I was there, yeah. They actually took the TV
Jeez.
trailers and floated them over the Pacific to South Korea, and we spent 30 days televising the Olympics for
Oh,
NBC.
what an
And
experience.
it was my first time basically in a whole different culture.
And it's fun to learn the culture of another country.
It really was. We had quite a nice adventure out there amongst
Keep using the word adventure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
It was, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of long hours. You spend a lot of time at airports and hotels, but you also get to like work with a lot of great people, and you end up like being good friends with these folks,
Yeah.
and you see, everybody that's in this field. It's a small kind of like a niche. It's kind of like a TV family. So I ended up like my Facebook feed is filled with people that live all over the country, and even other countries that I've met and worked with, and then we keep in touch. And in the course of working these events, you end up seeing them. You might see them a few times a year, and then you get together, and especially with the largest events, you have more time to like say go out and meet for drinks or dinner, and get to like socialize with people.
Sounds
So
like fun to me.
that was a lot of fun too.
So then, the entrepreneur bug hit you.
Yes, that kind of came out of kind of unexpectedly for me, because I've
Okay.
always saw myself as like, okay, I work for a company, I like the salary and the benefits and all that, and it's like the freelance. A lot of people in my field work freelance, and it's like I couldn't see myself doing that. And lo and behold, I'm doing it now. So I started back up doing kind of Ted Web, kind of like part time. I enjoyed what I did out on the road, but I kind of missed being able to create content. I was just making stuff work for other people,
Got it.
So, and I really wanted to get back into like doing creative things. So I started doing that part time, and a lot of it was volunteering. A lot of it was doing different events. I've been involved with the Historical Society, Discover Doylestown, you guys
Yeah,
doing
love it.
the chamber chat, and different projects. And after a while, some of that would turn into some paid work, because it sort of became I was getting these connections, and
We
it's kind
help
of
your
like,
business grow.
yes, yes, the chamber has been very helpful for that for me. It's really I can't say enough about how helpful the chamber has been in helping to get me going and realize that I can do this full time. Um, you after you spend so much time like on the road, you do kind of want to
You
see
want to be
something
home.
else. I want to be home, and I wanted to be, I guess it's like with so many people did with COVID. You kind of
Yeah.
start thinking about what you want to do,
Oh,
and it kind of made me realize that I really, I didn't miss not being on the road all the time,
yeah.
and now. Fast forward, I now have this business to help the community with different types of video production. Because I am an engineering mindset, I tend to like, kind of like take the technical side and morph it with the creative side. So I'm not afraid to like use equipment in unusual ways to make a product, make a video.
I know you've helped the county theater. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, yes. They one of my projects with them was when they were expanding their the theater, and I set up time lapse cameras for them, and we did this long form time lapse. Where basically we recorded the entire like from start to finish. It was 18 months of construction. So, and there were cameras focused on that, and you can now basically, what we did is we did basically we called it like the time lapse in a minute, the from the beginning of the first shovel to the new building, and everything in between. And you can actually watch. You can go on the county
I
theater's
was going to
website.
ask you where we could
Yeah,
see
and
it.
you can actually
Oh, okay.
see that um, in action. And we still decided to keep the camera up. I'm doing some through that connection. I now am doing it for some others too.
That's
So doing
awesome.
something similar. So see,
Yeah.
it's the what started as a community endeavor kind of moved into a revenue stream for me, and for me to be able to do that for other clients.
That's the beautiful part of life when
Yes.
you're giving. To have it help you out is wonderful. And I also love, I have to show everybody, this talk about, you created this.
Yes, I do.
Right in there.
Another thing that I got involved in is 3D printing.
I mean, this is amazing
Yeah, so
that you did this.
hmm I do.
Awesome.
I basically, I build a lot of parts with 3D printing, and I've done 3D printing for other clients too. Yes,
My
yes.
coaster.
Yeah, there's your coaster. You're welcome to that because I'll print more.
Ah, thank you.
So the thing about what I do a lot of, and this goes back to when I started in video. I tend to I find there's the new thing coming out, and then I want to latch onto it. I want to learn it, and then see how I can use it. So whether it's 3D printing, 360
I was going
virtual
to ask you
reality
about that.
photography, drones.
Oh,
I
you
was
do
one of the new ones.
drones.
I don't do drones myself so much anymore. I now
you
hire
were.
people that help me with that.
Right.
But I was one of the first ones that had one in town, so I became the drone guy.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So and I've done that throughout my whole career. Working in different video technology. I got to do like early, be one of the early ones. And I really like doing that because it's sort of like I kind of enjoy helping to kind of create the market, create the use for it. When you have a new medium, there's no rules. You're kind of helping to make
Yes.
the rules. How do you use this thing? How do you make like content with it? And I really enjoy doing that.
Oh, that's awesome. Totally awesome. Well, I am looking up here and I see all these awards. What is that beautiful award up there?
That is that's my Emmy award. It took
got an
I got an
Emmy.
Emmy. Yes, it's a technical
Wow.
sports Emmy. Basically, like aside from like the acting categories, they have them for technical. Best camera, best sports remote, which is what that is for. That was for the 2018 U.S. tennis coverage that ESPN
Is that in
did.
New York?
That's in New York, yes.
Okay.
And being part of the crew, you're able to we all get like these plaques, and you're able to get a statue. Working with the crew of for that, it was like a couple hundred. That's basically is the crew that make that up.
Did you go out for the Academy Awards?
No, I don't get to do that. But I,
Just
you
wondered.
know what? It's like I've seen a lot of my colleagues have like several, and it's like I kind of it was the one thing on the bucket list that was just always avoiding me. I was always not. And interesting that year, I had a double chance of getting it because in the same category. I worked 2 shows in the same category. The Olympics was up for it, and ESPN was up for it for the tennis, and then I got it for the tennis. So
awesome. And then
So-
there's another one. It looks like a heart or a
that
spade.
that is early in my career. That was a Cable Ace Award. Before cable programming was morphed into the Emmys, they had their own award, and it's a cable. That's an Ace Award, a stainless steel Ace.
That's cool.
And that was for programming that I did in Bucks County and Doylestown here. We did a show called Art Beat, which was like we did little mini profiles on artists, and it won a national award for its coverage, which was that was kind of like my first taste of it. It was a
award.
national award for coming from Doylestown.
deserved.
And it was quite interesting because it's like we didn't have like the best equipment compared to a lot of others, but the content is and the creativeness is what made it stand out. So that's like and I'm still very proud of that show. Even though it's so long ago in my career, but I'm still very proud of that.
I bet you do a lot of work with real estate agents with 360. Do you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
With virtual, especially now with the way the markets are, and there's a lot of people that are like moving into the area, so they're not here. So they can look at properties basically where they're at, but in a really immersive state. They can literally like digitally walk through it, and they can even take measurements. They can say how will
Truly?
my couch fit on that wall, and they can do it digitally. It's a technology that makes what they call a digital twin. So it's kind of like a digitized version of your house, and with the floor plan
That
and
is
everything.
fascinating.
And it's good for real estate. It's good for hotels, bed and breakfasts. Any kind of like any kind of event space that you want people to, you really want to give them a good look. It's technology that's picked up a lot more, certainly since COVID, because a lot more virtual now, and a lot more people now. Even though we're hopefully, as as we start to move on from COVID, the whole mindset of still looking online, I think is going to stay. People are going to
Yeah, for
really
sure.
still use Zoom is not going anywhere. Neither are virtual tours. People are still going to use that because they've kind of gotten comfortable with it. It's like COVID has pushed um, pushed us a lot farther in certain ways with um, off-site. I mean, how many people now are working out of their homes, and they're going to continue to.
Truly.
And we've seen it a lot in the broadcast world too. I have friends that actually work instead of them being at the game, they're in their basement working by remote control. That's all kind of moved forward.
Drinking a cup of their favorite coffee.
Yeah.
Well, before we close today, is there anything else you'd like to share with the business community?
Well, I think networking is good, and making a lot of connections. And for me, because I'm so into community, it's really important to me. And I think it's important and it comes back to you. The more that you give into your community, in causes or helping out different events and anything in nonprofit, it comes back to you. It comes back to you in business. It just comes back to you in feeling good, knowing you're helping. You're part of a greater collective. And you're supporting everybody. That's we all call this
Yeah.
area home.
Well, your kindness shows through. Your heart is beautiful, and so's your intellect and your
Oh, thank you.
creativity.
Thank you.
And it's such a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you for sitting down and chatting on this side of the camera.
Yeah.
Once again, this sums up another wonderful edition of Chamber Chat with Tom Brunt from TED Web Innovations. Have a good day.